I'm gonna let a cat choose which one I'm gonna read. I feel like this book is genuinely healing my soul right now. What makes a good book? Why are we readers? Why do we love this so much? Hi everyone, it's me. Welcome to Bookmas Day 12. I feel like it's kind of bittersweet that we are on the last day of Bookmas right now. First and foremost, this has been so much fun seeing you guys every other day in the month of December. It's just made December so special, you know, like seeing all your comments every other day, being so excited for a video to be posted, but it's also been a lot of work. So on one hand, I'm sad to see it's over, but on the other hand, I'm a little relieved to have a bit of a break and to go back to our regular scheduled programming in the new year. But yes, it is the last day of Bookmas. So before we get into choosing what we're gonna read today, I just want everyone, this is going to be your gift to me, okay? For all the creators that you've been watching throughout December doing Bookmas, Vlogmas, or whatever, please go and spread some love, share some comments, share some likes on all of your favorite creators' Bookmas or Vlogmas videos, because the amount of work that goes into Bookmas is absolutely insane. And this is my first year doing Bookmas like proper, so going through the process, realizing how much work it is to make 12 videos in 1 month. And I know everyone's been working long days. I know Freya the other day was editing a video till like 9 p.m. I think I saw Emmy editing a video till like midnight. Like it's a labor of love and it's so much fun, but it's a lot of work. So yes, please go and share the love, comment on all of your favorite booktubers, Bookmas, Vlogmas videos, and that can be your present to me. But okay, that being said, it is our last day of reading a book a day. And so we actually only have 2 books left to choose from. So we're going to choose our final book. It's going to be one of these two. These 2 books are quite similar in size and they're both paperbacks. So I genuinely don't know which book is which this time around, because I know like for all of my reading vlogs so far, I've been pretty successfully guessing like pretty much every single book that we've read that's been under the wrapping. But yeah, these 2 are both very cute, very similar in size. And I thought for this last day to mix it up, to do something fun, I'm gonna let a cat choose which one I'm gonna read. So Bob's is right here. I don't know if he's just gonna like go up to one of these books, or maybe I'll have to go get like a treat to lure him to either one of these books. I'm gonna put these books down and see which one he chooses, like the one he goes to first. I don't know if this idea is gonna work or not. I just thought it'd be fun to try. Okay, Bob's, Bucky, look, 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 look. I have 1 book. And I have 2 book. Which one do you like? He does not care at all. Okay, I'm gonna go get a treat. I'm gonna go get some greenies. That'll help. Okay, I'm back. I got some greenies. He's definitely looking a lot more excited. Okay, but now whichever one I put the treat on first. He's already so excited. How am I gonna do this at the same time? Whichever one I put the greenie on first, he's gonna choose first. I need him to leave the room and then get him to come back. Okay, come here, Bubs. Get out. Leave the room. Oh no. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna drop the 2 greenies, and one's gonna be more on the right and one's gonna be more on the left naturally, and just whichever one he eats first. Like if he goes to the right, we'll do that one. If he goes to the left, we'll do that one. Okay, ready? Okay, I think he chose this one because it was on this side and he didn't eat this one. Did you like that? Was that yummy? Yeah. Okay, so Bob's is happy now and he chose this one, whichever one this book is. Can I just say, these 2 books are maybe my favorite wrapped books of all the ones I wrapped for this Bookmas season. Like, how cute are these 2? Why did we save the cutest ones for last? But yeah, he chose this. So let's guess what this is. I think, yeah, both of these feel quite just like very small paperbacks, but I have a feeling that this is Welcome to the Hyunam-Dong Bookshop. I'm gonna close my eyes and please tell me I'm right, because I don't want to break my guessing streak. Please, am I right? Am I right? Please tell me I'm right. Yeah! Oh, that'd be so sad if I didn't guess the correct book on the very last day. But we are going to be reading Welcome to the Hyunam-Dong Bookshop by Hwang Bo-room today, which I think is honestly probably the perfect book to finish off our Bookmas, because I've heard that this one is just so cozy, and this will probably help me get into those like cozy holiday vibes. So this is, according to the back of the book, it is the heartwarming Korean smash hit. And we're following Youngju, who is burned out. She did everything she was supposed to: go to school, marry a decent man, get a respectable job, and then it all fell apart. In a leap of faith, Youngju abandons her old life, quits her high-flying career, and follows her dream. She opens a bookshop. In a quaint neighborhood in Seoul, surrounded by books, Youngju and her customers take refuge. From the lonely barista to the unhappily married coffee roaster and the writer who sees something special in Youngju, they all have disappointments in their past. The Hyunam-Dong Bookshop becomes the place where they all learn how to truly live. A heartwarming story about acceptance and the healing power of books. Welcome to the Hyunam-Dong Bookshop is a gentle reminder that it's never too late to scrap the plot and start again. This just feels so cozy. I'm really excited to read this. I love a book about book lovers. I love a book about a bookshop. I'm really excited. But that means this one, I guess we can unwrap this one too, but that means we're not reading Great and Precious Things by Rebecca Yarros. Although I will end up still reading this month, because this one was actually on my December TBR, so I'll just read it outside of a reading vlog, and we'll have this one in my December wrap up. So if you were excited to see me read this one, I will still read it. I will still wrap it up, just not in its own reading vlog. But okay, let's get into today's read. I feel like this book is genuinely healing my soul right now. This is so heartwarming already. Like, if you've ever felt burnt out and you just need a moment of peace and you are a book lover, like you will love this book. I'm only like 20 pages in, like, that being said, literally, but I already feel healed. It just feels so cozy, and this is definitely a book written for a book lover. We're kind of split into chapters of our character, like, I guess learning about a different aspect of what it is to open a bookstore and like what makes a good bookstore. Like, the first chapter was literally what makes a good bookstore, and now I'm reading a chapter that's like, how do you recommend a book to a customer? And there are just so many good like quotes about what makes a good book. Why are we readers? Why do we love this so much? And I just feel so happy. I never like to read out too many quotes in my reading vlogs, because I feel like experiencing them firsthand for yourself is like a lot of what makes a book enjoyable. So I find reading direct quotes from books, like too many, can get into a little bit of spoiler territory. But because we're still on page 27, actually, that's the page I'm on, I want to read just like one quote to you, just to like give you an idea of like what the vibe of this book is. Our character Youngju is trying to come up with a definition of like what counts as a good book, because she's kind of ruminating on how do you recommend a good book to a customer when they ask you and like you don't know their preference and, you know, all of that. And this was her definition she came up with for a good book. She says, books by authors who understand life, those who write about family, mother and child, about themselves, about the human condition. When authors delve deep into their understanding of life to touch the hearts of readers, helping them to navigate life, isn't that what a good book should be? And like, that is genuinely the theme of my reading experience this year in 2025. I have truly gained like an appreciation for books that explore the human condition. Like, that's what I always say. Like, in my favorite books that I've ever read, like I usually say something like, this book captures like what it is to be a human. Like, that is my favorite part of reading. And so I just feel like this book is speaking to my soul like so directly. I'm gonna continue reading, but that's my little update for now. I feel like I am doing this book such a disservice by not drinking a tea while reading it. So I don't know why I forgot to make a tea. I actually already had a tea this morning, but it was a green tea, so I didn't re-steep it, because apparently I learned from one of you that you're not actually supposed to re-steep a caffeinated tea. You're only supposed to do it with an herbal tea or like a decaf tea. So I don't know, something about the tannins. Let's make a tea. I think I'm feeling this one today. This is bourbon vanilla rooibos, which also one of you guys the other day told me I was pronouncing rooibos wrong. I still haven't looked up what the correct pronunciation is, so I'm just gonna say rooibos for now. I'm sorry. But so far, I am still just loving this book so much. Do I want this mug? No, I think I want my library mug because it's bigger. But yeah, this book is just continuing to speak to my soul. It's making me really want to open my own bookstore. Like bookstore, coffee shop, hybrid. Water's starting to boil. It's gonna get loud. I'm sorry. But yeah, this book is just, it's continuing to heal my soul. It feels so honest and realistic. Like, it's one of those books that so far, like, not too many very dramatic things are happening, but it's more just like small, tender, gentle moments. Like, our bookshop owner does this thing where, like, at a certain time in the day, she will cut up some fruit and give it to some of her regulars and her, like, barista. And just like small moments like that, I feel like feels so honest, because that is something that, like, myself growing up in an Asian household, that was definitely one of the ways that my parents showed us love, is like just cutting us up some fruit after dinner, like as a nighttime snack, I guess. And it's just feeling so cozy that that is included in this book, like just something sweet and small like that. And then there's just so many other like healing aspects about it. Not only are we learning about like what it is to open a bookshop, like getting over burnout, how to give a good book rec, but there's also like how to achieve work-life balance. And as someone who has struggled with that my entire life, that is really truly speaking to my soul. And we're also just following these characters that are feeling lonely in different ways, that are feeling failure in different ways, but they're finding this sort of peace with each other in this little like cozy bookshop environment. And it's really heartwarming to read. And yeah, it's making me really want to open my own bookstore, because I used to actually have a dream of opening a yoga studio plus cafe combo when I was younger, but now I'm like, now I want to open a bookstore cafe combo. Like, it just sounds so cute. I know it's probably so much work to do, but as a little like dream for myself, I don't know, it sounds really cute. But I have my tea now. Oh my god, this smells so good. This bourbon vanilla rooibos or whatever it's called. So good, so cozy. But I'm gonna sit on the couch a little bit and read some more. We're now getting into this part of the book where we're focusing a lot more on work and career, and like what should work really look like in your life, like how big of a role should it play in your life, and discussing things like what's the difference between making a living and then like just wanting to work, or just like feeling the need to work. And so much of it is hitting so hard for me, especially like if you guys have been following me and you guys know the year that I've had since like last August, I guess over a year, when I was first part of a mass layoff from a job that like honestly I had been thinking of leaving for a while, but was just too scared to leave because I didn't want to leave my job stability. There's some discussion in here about like toxic companies and how they'll make you, like, they'll use these tricks to try and make you feel like a company person, like how your company is like a family or a team, and where that line is of like when that becomes toxic. There's just a lot of discussion about work-life balance in this book. That's all I'm trying to say. And I think the way it's done in this book is really creative and effective, because we essentially have this book club that takes place in this bookshop, and a lot of this discussion takes place during those book club scenes. So you'll get like a lot of these like customers or like, you know, regulars at the book club offering different perspectives on these certain topics. And I think it's just such a clever way of naturally integrating these discussions and themes within the book, so I'm really, really loving that. Oh, just like all the company stuff is hitting so hard, like how companies treat you and how, especially I think like nowadays when permanent positions are so hard to come by and most companies are only hiring like temporary or like, you know, shorter term contracts. We have some talk about that in this book, like about how companies will dangle these permanent positions in front of you like carrots, but then they'll never actually like come through with it. Like they're all just false promises. There's also some interesting stuff in here about social media and how that affects the publishing industry and how it also affects like the bookshop, like running a business in general. So that's interesting too. But I think this is quite a quick read. So I think I have like 130 pages remaining. I'm a little over halfway through, but I'm just gonna plop myself down here and continue reading this. I feel like this book has truly just healed me today. It's healed me. I just finished reading it. I feel healed. Basically, that quote I read to you at the beginning of the book about a good book just like showing you the human experience. I love that that was a quote in the book, and then that's literally what the book itself did. This was such a gentle read. Like there was definitely depth to it. It's not just like a fluffy, cozy read with nothing else going on. It was actually really interesting, I think, the progression of the book, because this started out very much just being a book about a bookshop. We were just discussing things like how do you create a good vibe in a bookshop? How do you decide what books to stock? Stuff like that. But then as the book went on, we started just like diving into our characters more. All of the characters that we met were all trying to rediscover their purpose, their joys in life, trying to find balance in their lives, but all in different ways, with definitely a big emphasis on like work-life balance, as I mentioned, finding passion in life, finding things that you like to do, hobbies you like to do, and then trying to balance like how much emphasis do you put on your work versus like how much money do you want to make versus how much money do you need to live a happy life, or like what's the balance, like what does that look like in all of these different individuals. And so it turned more into this character-driven story, which I love. Like there's not too much of a plot, I would say, in this book, but it just kind of dives into these different themes. And there's also a little bit of a love story in here, which was very, very endearing. It was just very cute. I think this was like a wonderful book to finish off this blind book advent calendar challenge. As I mentioned, like I just feel so healed from reading this. Perfect vibe to enter the holidays, although I will say on the side I am still tackling Oathbringer, so that is still going on. And then yeah, I'll also have to get to Great and Precious Things before the new year as well, because that was on my December TBR and we didn't read it today. That being said, oh wait, no, I have to give this book a rating. I think I'm gonna rate this a 4-star. I think it was a really lovely, gentle read. I honestly don't have any specific complaints about this book, but I just don't think it was hard-hitting enough for me to give it a 5-star. But I think it was a wonderful read, and honestly, like, found me at the right time, I think. Because so much of what these characters were going through, again, like, I could relate to my experiences that I've experienced in the past year and a half. That being said, I guess that wraps up Bookmas. This is so weird to do. I almost don't want to stop recording, because when I stop recording, Bookmas is over. But I'm gonna have to do it. So that wraps up Bookmas Day 12, and that wraps up our final video of 2025. Thank you so much to everyone who has watched my videos this year, who has liked, who has commented. If you're a silent viewer, I also love you. Just thank you so much for being here and being a part of this cozy community. I'm just feeling all kinds of like cheesy, gushy, emotional feelings right now, because this is literally our last video of this year. All that being said, if you liked this video, please leave me a like and a comment. If you don't know what to comment down below, let's just fill the comment section with like positive 2025 holiday vibes, whatever you want to say, just good vibes. And also, yeah, remember to support all of your other favorite booktubers too, and thank them for doing Bookmas, because this workload is no joke. Wouldn't trade it for the world, but it's no joke. And of course, if you like me, if you want to make sure you catch our return in January 2026 on whatever date I end up coming back to posting in the new year, remember to subscribe, do that bell thing, and I will see you next year. Bye.